Oh, hide the cleavage. So, welcome to week 2 of my Morsia Summer Shred Challenge. Well, week 2 of the video, it's like week 4 or something. But anyway, today I thought I'll show you through my spreadsheet that I've made to monitor my weight, monitor what I eat, expenditure, and then see how it correlates across time. Because as you know, BMR calculators are always wrong, and Fitbits are completely wrong, of which I'll show you. So, let's jump in. So to preface this a little bit, it's week 5 of the Morsia Summer Shred Challenge that I'm doing. Motivation behind the shred is I used to gym and then I stopped to pick up running, but then I've hurt my knee after my marathon that I done, London Marathon. Check out the videos. And so then I couldn't really run properly. I was gonna look into triathlons and stuff, but I just honestly I missed having like a bit of muscle. So also gonna be a dad in October. So I thought I want my son to always know me as being jacked, obviously. So anyway, let's look at the spreadsheet. I'm using this to try and track how many calories I can eat in this 8-week summer shred challenge. Now it's a bit awkward as well because following my calories here and the weight, I'm not losing that much, but I physically look a lot different because obviously I'm gaining my muscle back and must be losing fat at the same time. Say that one, Coach Greg. So if we look at the spreadsheet that we've got here, on the left hand side we've got the date, pretty simple, and then along the top we have the gym, so the actual gym session, followed by then the number of sessions, followed by the cardio, which I'm calculating using the calories on the Fitbit. So that's how I track it, so that no matter what I do, I can just kind of equate it to this. I've got my total weekly cardio, then steps, the number of weekly steps, how many calories I'm expending according to Fitbit, how many calories I'm taking in, the weekly average of the calories I'm taking in, the net difference of each day, and then the weekly difference, followed then by my weight, my mean weight, my median weight, and weekly body weight loss percent. So the last three is average weight, mean weight, all of them added up, divided by the number of times I've weighed myself. So that would be all of those divided by 6, for instance. Median would be, it would get the central number from the set. So if we have a set of 5, it would take the third number if you ranked them highest to lowest. That way it kind of removes outlier days. So if one day you have a McDonald's and get drunk, then like you weigh, whatever, I don't know, a kilo and a half heavier or a kilo heavier, it cuts out that day if you just look at the median, which is good. But then median can also be bad for a point I'll get onto in a moment. Finally, weekly body weight loss percentage, and this is just what percent of my body weight have I lost from last week. So we're wanting this ideally to be around 1%, which for me will be about 0.8 kilos, roughly. But obviously, we're going to be a little bit less intense with that, striving for that number, because I'm definitely putting some muscle back on. If we then look every 7 days, we have in bold the numbers that I actually care about the most. So any of the bold numbers, the ones that we actually care about. So it's the number of gym sessions. I don't want to do like 6 in one week and then 5 in the next and not equate for that, because obviously that will change how much I'm expending. The next is weekly total cardio calories. So that's, I'm trying to just equate that across each week. The number of weekly steps on average that I'm taking. Although this can be a bit dodgy because when you're driving, your Fitbit takes like definitely up to like 200 steps an hour because it would say like you've got 50 steps left to take, and I'm like, what? I've been driving this entire hour. Anyway, then the weekly average calories that I'm intaking. That's obviously I need to know the weekly mean difference, so the average difference of each day. Just like good to know, and then it's the weight stuff. So the kind of big numbers that we're mainly focused on here when we're looking at it is how much cardio am I doing each week, gym sessions, how much I'm eating, and then my weight. And that's kind of roughly it. Mainly the weekly body percent one. So the first week started out 85.4 kilos. This was our first week of dieting, 17th of July. And by the end of it, I was 84.8, lost 0.7% of my body weight. And that was on 2350 calories, or 2349, with only 400 calories of cardio that week, but 6 gym sessions because I was obviously getting right back into it. I wanted to be in the gym all the time. Didn't do that many steps either. So as you can see, the average difference of each day was only 700 calories that I was than my Fitbit. And I say only here because the Fitbit's like 75% accurate. Because if you look here, my average calories out is it's like 3,200 or something, which is just absolutely lies. My maintenance is probably like 2,600, something like that. Maybe get out to like 27 if I'm doing a lot of cardio. So anyway, 0.7% the first week. The next week was 0.65%, which, fair enough. I'm kind of happy-ish with that. But I wanted to make it a little bit more aggressive because my main goal was 2,200 calories, was what I wanted to get as my kind of standard baseline to go on. So as you can see from the top one, it's like 2, 3, 50 calories. The next week it's 2, 3, then the next week's 2, 2. Reason for that is just because the 0.7%, although it was decent, I just thought to myself, I'm giving myself way too much leeway by saying that's fine, you're going to build muscle and lose fat, so you don't need to lose as much weight. Whereas now I'm like, maybe not. Maybe I'll not give myself as much. I don't trust myself enough that I'm definitely losing fat and gaining muscle. Well, it looks like it, but I just don't want to be an absolute weight loss. So whatever. Electrolyte juice. For legs later. So then the next week, this was last week, we lost 1% in body weight, which was good. But that was because we were at 2 calories, although we did do less cardio, so 700 instead of 8, but I was eating 100 less calories per day. So, a lot more expenditure. But again, as I was showing you here, like I done a push session, burnt 100 calories walking probably, and apparently about 3,400 calories that day. For reference, I'm 177 centimeters and weighed at the point in time 83.4 kilos. So there's no way I was burning that much calories, that many. But that was good, 1% weight loss. So this week, so that was that took way too long to say. But this week, we were then aiming for 2,200 calories, and I wanted to do at least 600 calories of cardio. And so far, I've done 4 gym sessions and 200 lots of cardio. So I still have another 200 calories to burn. And I'm on track as well for 2,200 calories of eating per day. And so I just added mean weight before this video because originally I just had the median, but I thought maybe that my mean for this week would be lower than my median, but obviously I was wrong, as you can see. But it was because this week I started at 83.6 and then I just stuck at 83.3 and then I went up in weight before then dropping back down and then I'm up again a little bit today. So according to this, I've only lost 0.1% of my body weight, but I've definitely gained more muscle. Like I can feel it within myself. Although it's look from the future. It is now tomorrow. So I've weighed myself this morning and I weigh 83.25 kilos. So I'm not down in the 82s like I was hoping to be. However, I thought to myself, right, I do want to lose weight at a steady amount. So I do want to keep losing more weight. So I'm going to drop my calories a little bit. But I thought, I'm not convinced I'm the same level of body fat. So I've got pictures up. What am I playing with here? These are toe spacers. It's weird that I'm playing with them. I only use them when I'm fresh at a show. Anyway, so we go over to Canva, which if you don't know is a free tool. You should probably know about it if you're on YouTube because everyone makes their thumbnails, etc. in here. I've even used it for work before, for flyers and stuff like that, posters. Anyway, I have a few pictures here. So we'll start with our first one. So this is me at 84.8 kilos on the 23rd of July. So that's like 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks in a day. And as you can see, a bit chubby. Legs are actually looking good here because I was just post workout. So post leg workout. But yeah, other than that, just a bit bit chunky. So if we move that over and we pull in the 7th of August, this is like 2 weeks in the future. You can see the lighting's different. I know. But in any case, my waist I'm posing slightly different here. I must have put the camera at a different angle. But you can see my quads are much more separated, so that's a good sign. You can see that my stomach is like less flabbier. What an adjective to use about myself. But it's less like flabby. My arms look a little bit thinner, my lats a bit wider, my chest a bit thinner. But mainly as well, I'm noticing here, just like where my neck is, this upper portion of me just looks like much thinner. But also here at that point in time, 7th of August, I would have been weighing an 83.6, so down 1.2 kilos, and I think you can see it pretty dramatically. Granted, this was in the afternoon, this was in the morning, but for confirmation of as to what we look like now, I'll pop this one. This is actually you seeing what I look like in the future. So anyway, this is me now, and honestly, I think that there's like a night and day difference in shape from the 7th to the 14th. If we look here, my legs, I don't know, so I can see. My legs look a bit thinner, but they look leaner. My waist looks like night and day thinner. um, my shape is just much more back, increased muscle here and there, maybe. It's hard to say week on week, but definitely looking a bit trimmer, a bit thinner. And so here, I've only lost from then to now, which is 83.3 kilos. I've only lost 0.2 kilos, but I think here it looks like a half kilo loss. So, in my estimation, what's happening is I'm losing a lot of the fat around my midsection, gaining a bit of muscle back on the back, on the legs, everywhere really, but mainly back and legs. That's bringing my weight up. And so I'm losing like 500 grams, say half a kilo of fat, say like a pound roughly. But then I think I'm gaining like 0.2, 0.3 in muscle mass because it's all just starting to come back. So basically, in short, this is the 4 weeks progress so far. It's like halfway ish through the cut. And you can see from here to here, so if I just cover me up, there is a night and day difference. In short, I'm just saying that don't just go by the scale, go also by how you look. But don't go day to day, go like week to week. Because day to day, you just look so different depending on how much you ate, what you've worked out, because like the inflammation in your muscles and stuff. But yeah, so this week we're going to go 2100 calories and at least 600 calories of cardio. So then we'll be in a 700 deficit at least from the previous week. So we should definitely be losing weight. Anyway, I'll send you back to the me of the past. There you go. But the point I was wanting to make with this is that the median is not always perfect. For instance, this past week has been a mad week for personal stuff going on. Kind of passing aways and things like that. Sad stuff. And so this week's been a bit harder to adhere as I've been traveling quite a lot and stuff. And also, three of the days this week, I've had like a glass to 2 glasses of wine, which isn't much, but it's enough for me to like retain water the next day. And I always notice it because I can feel what's water and what's fat, especially because I've yo-yoed up and down in my weight quite a lot for the past 10 years. But yeah, so at the beginning of this week, I've been eating my 2200 calories, but I've not been doing that much cardio, not enough to really pull the weight down. So, for instance, if you look for the first 1, 2, 3, 4 days, I've done 200 cardio and only 2 sessions. So I'm not expending that much. But then this back end of the week, I'm kind of like not backloading, but front front loading, backloading. I don't know. Burning most of my calories at the end of the week. So I suspect tomorrow my weight will be back to like 82 point something. But I'm not too concerned about how little I've lost this week because I've definitely gained muscle and I can feel it everywhere. But also I think I'll be lower tomorrow because all of my calorie expenditure is at the end of the week, which is messing up the median and the mean, and 3 days of drinking. So like or a couple of glasses of wine before bed, you know. So 2200 calories is like a solid point to be at for me. It's maintainable and I'm still losing weight, I'll maybe up the weekly cardio to like 800 next week, depending on my weight tomorrow morning. Because tomorrow morning, if I'm 82 point something, I'll be happy. But if I'm not, then I'll add in a couple of hundred extra calories of cardio next week. Because honestly, it is a science kind of, but you're different at every point in time, and that's what makes this type of programming so difficult. Is that you can't just go, when you eat 2200 calories, you're gonna then lose this amount of fat, because it's all dependent on like what weight you're currently at, what you are eating as well. I think changes it quite a lot. So if I eat just like chicken and rice, I just like burn it like mad, and my weight just, it like sucks up into my muscles and my weight just drops. Whereas if I'm like doing what I'm doing now, which is flexibly eating, not only am I eating out, which increases the margin of error. So, for instance, I had a Subway, but is it really 470 calories? Or is it like 600? Or is it like 400? You know, you can't tell these things exactly the same way you can when you're eating the same foods every day. And that's the main part of that. But also, just like having alcohol and stuff messes up my body water and so makes me hold more than less. So, it's not an exact science, but you get a gauge for what you're looking for when you do it long enough. And I've done this for years off and on, and it's always just normal to bring my weight back down because I fall off the wagon when I'm like 78 kilos, and then I go up to like 85 and then back down again. Just the way it is. Anyway, let's have a wee swatch of the physique. So, physique update from the 7th of August 2023. I'm weighing 83.6 kilos, down 1.8 since starting. So, this is beginning of week 4, which, not too bad. I'll take it, considering that I'm building muscle back again and losing fat at the same time. At least that's the idea. My arms are getting a bit more size back. My legs is coming back a little bit. My legs are coming back a little bit. Still frustrating though with my torso being a bit kind of chubby. But the thing I notice from cutting all the time, and I think for anyone who is watching this who's also cutting, or is when you start cutting, you have this weird idea in your mind, like, say, for instance, like me, or I don't know, my scales say I'm 24% body fat, 24.4 to be precise. So you would look at you being 24.4% body fat and think, right, I'm kind of fat, I need to go on a little cut. And then you start to cut, but now the image of who you think you are in your mind is this person with a six pack. And so anything without a six pack, you're like, God, I'm so fat. But you fail to see the progress that you're making. I think that's one of the major downsides with the fitness industry and how they kind of teach it, I suppose, kind of implicitly through how they talk about it, is that if you just thought of yourself as the same person, but now you're working out, you're like, wow, look at all this progress I'm making. But when you think of who you want to be or who you think you should be, you just see yourself being so far away. It's kind of like if you were to start saving, you'd be like, say you save 100 quid. Well, you've got 100 quid more in your savings than you had, whatever, last month. But because you want to save to a million, you're like, oh, I've nothing there. But you feel, oh, look at that back shot. My back and shoulders are actually looking pretty decent. But yeah, you fail to realize where you were, and as opposed to where you want to be. And so, takeaway message for anyone watching this is, just compare yourself to who you were. Maybe not even yesterday, but like last week or last month or whatever makes sense. The person that you want to be better than, and that's why like my weight. I'm extrapolating my weight and calories across a week because to try and be better every single day is just relentless. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you've maybe learned something or two. I'll see you next week and we'll do a full day of eating of how I'm gonna get a six pack. Gonna be a da with a six pack. Will be the first time I've ever had one, so here's hoping. Anyway, cheers. I'll see you in a bit.